Reactive training systems.
How many developmental blocks do you use to determine your time to peak?
In my experience, you can get a good idea of what the time to peak is going to be from that first development block. But I mean, part of the acknowledgement in emerging strategies is that there's a certain amount of unpredictability, and we're trying to minimize that to the maximum extent possible. But part of that unpredictability is, okay, you've established this time to peak. Let's say it's 6 exposures in your first development block. It's probably going to be around that unless you drastically change something. But you may have some blocks that run 7, you may have some blocks that run 5, So just be attentive to that, and it really can constantly change. And that's something that we've talked about on the staff, that over time we see kind of maybe a shortening of development cycle length, but keep in mind it's easier to see shorter development cycles. You have to intentionally look for longer development cycles. So it's kind of this asymmetric information processing thing. So what I would do if I was in a situation where I was just training open-ended, I would just let each block go until I found its end point. Now, in the first development block, we give you this rule of thumb, and we say go until you have 2 weeks of reduced performance. So you peak and you either have 2 down weeks or 2 weeks of regression, or that can signal to you that, okay, enough is enough, and now you can break from that. I think as you get more experience and you've done a number of development blocks, you'll start to identify the feelings that you have and other indicators that signal to you this block is over. So what you can look for then, maybe you don't need to go a full 2 exposures past the peak to see that it's over. Maybe only one. If it's just one down session, you kind of know it's a down session. It happened in my second week. Well, it's probably not your peak in the second week. So you keep on going. But if it happens, I always peak right around week 6, and here I am at week 7. I had a bad workout, and also I have these other subjective things, like I'm bored with training and I feel a bit fragile and things like that. Well, okay, maybe that's your indicator. You don't need to go another week because you've established this as a norm for you. Now, what you would do then is just train, let the blocks be however long they are, and then as you start to get closer to competition, that's when you work out your block plans, and that's when you might implement a little bit more rigid control of it too. So if you're 3 development cycles, maybe 2 development cycles away from your contest, maybe you say at that point, okay, this one is going to be 6 exposures and not longer than that, and at that point you're utilizing your average anyway. Normally development blocks are 6 exposures for me, so that's what you plan on, and that's going to be right more often than not.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. Hopefully it's something that you can learn from and share with your friends. One of the other things that we offer is the RTS Classroom, which enrollment is open now. The RTS Classroom is a course designed to teach you how to individualize training. And this July, we have a new course called Emerging Strategies Framework. If you haven't heard about emerging strategies yet, take a look at the YouTube video that we have on it. This class is designed to really fine-tune how to figure out the variables that work for your lifters and your athletes so they can actually get stronger and perform better on the platform. Enrollment opens now. July 11th is when the first classroom starts. So if you want to get in on that, take a look at the link in the bio, and I will see you in class.
Reactive training systems.